Hi everyone, welcome to Race, Crime, and Justice CJS 190. So I'm gonna kind of go through this a little bit quickly because most of you, if you're in this class, you've taken a college class with us at EC3, at the very least, Soc 101. So you should be familiar with how our Blackboard works and how our syllabi work and things like that. So realistically, this is going to be a little bit of a shorter video for a intro than others. But anyway, I'm Mr. Wheaton. I am your professor for this class. You will see, like right now, you see there's me in a video in the corner of the screen, and then there's, or whatever corner it is, and then there is the actual screen that you're seeing. You'll come to know that this is not the norm. This is just for this first video. But so real quickly, you'll see under course faculty, I don't show up there. It's because I have admin privileges, so it for some reason hides you from me, but I am there, I promise. But in general, our Blackboard is like any other that you've seen, where under the Start Here folder, there's an outdated About Me video. I want to update that sometime, maybe over the summer. And then there is the syllabus, which we will go over here in a little bit. There's the course-specific content. There's nothing in there now, but there will be next week. And then our weekly folders. And so, yeah, week 1 folder. And so this is where I say we'll look at the syllabus and go over it more specifically. But in that week 1 folder, it's already available to you. Discussion board 1, discussion board 2, the notes, which is the lecture slides that I use. Obviously, I encourage you to take notes, and then readings. We'll talk about those readings as part of the lecture. I do not expect you to read all of these things, especially not The American Dilemma by Gunnar Myrdal. It's really, 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 really long and old and outdated and very racist, and that's kind of why we're talking about it in this class. But you'll understand as we go through. What you do not see right now is a weekly intro video and the lecture video. Those are the two things that you will find in these weekly folders as well. There will always be a lecture video, at least one, where I go over all the content, where it is me speaking to you, going with the actual PowerPoint, things of that nature. And then there'll be a weekly video where you'll see just my face, so that little corner piece is going to be the whole thing, and it'll just be me checking in with you. That video will be the ones where I talk about what is expected of the week, homework, things of that nature. But before that even happens, if you're watching this because you're intro to the class, I want you to see discussion board 1 is something I encourage you to do before anything else. And that is, before coming into this class, what thoughts, ideas, and beliefs did you have regarding the topic of race, crime, and justice in America? I want you to take your time, and I want you to actually, write something significant. So please make sure your response is at least 5 complete sentences long. So please note, I'm telling you this in this video, and I'll go over it in my intro for the week video. Discussion board 1, start there, and then dive into everything else. But without further ado, let's bring up the syllabus, and so we can talk about this. All right, so as Blackboard does, here is the syllabus. So nothing should be world-changing or anything. As I said, this is an online course. Our course time meetings is online. It's at your pace, but it is with weekly due dates, so expect to see, assignments show up every week that you're going to have to do. There are 10 total discussion boards. Again, we'll talk about that here in just a second. Office hours, I'm in person in the office, in my office, EC3 West 215, on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 11:30 to 1:30. That's the times that I'm guaranteed to be there for you. Okay? As always, there's my office number, and there is my email. Email is the best way to get a hold of me. Send me an email, give me 24 hours, and I'll respond. Student learning objectives are pretty standard. Course descriptions, standard. The required text, all readings will be available on Blackboard in the weekly folder for those readings, so you don't have to even look for them. I always make them available to you. There's our grading scale. So here's the first thing that's important that people care about. There's a final exam, there is a final project, and there is weekly discussion boards. That's it. That's your points for the semester. 175 points for the final exam, 175 points for the Court of Public Opinions project, which there will be a separate video talking about it, and it'll go up next week in week 2. And then there's 100 points, 10 discussion boards worth 10 points each. So this is where I tell you, the final exam will be open note. Anyone who's had me knows this is always open note, open book. Don't worry, I will do some kind of brief overview video in week 8 going over some of the important pieces that you should have ready for the exam. As far as the Court of Public Opinions project, like I said, we'll talk about it in week 2, but those are the 2 big things to note. The other thing is literally just do your weekly assignments and you'll have no problem. Best way to reach me is by email. Give me 24 hours. Respect agreement, harassment policy. This is important, especially in this class. We are going to be talking about serious, sensitive subjects. We are going to be talking about race, racism, and the way that the systems operate. And so it's very important to know that we are going to be talking about sensitive things, but everybody is welcome to their opinion. But don't be jerks about it. Don't be mean. Don't be using hate speech or crude language or anything like that directed at another person. This is a class about understanding someone else's perspective, okay? So keep that in mind. All these things are pretty standard across the board. Student expectations, since it's an online class, attendance is different. Very specifically, attendance in this class is measured by turning in your work, the last login that you logged into Blackboard, and any email communications with me. If you fall behind from submitting work and have not logged in for at least 3 days, I will send you an email to your EC3 email. If you do not reply to me within 48 hours, I will refer you to academic support. You may get dropped from the class. This is important, okay? With this being an online class will never be canceled. Academic integrity, don't cheat, full stop. Important dates, so Monday, April 7th is the beginning of the semester. Wednesday, April 9th is the last day to drop a class with 100% refund, no grade of a W, as well as the last day to add any classes you want for the second 8 week. Thursday, April 17th is the last day to drop a class with a 50% refund if you've paid anything towards it, and you will still receive a W grade. And Wednesday, May 14th is the last day that you can withdraw where you will receive a W grade. What this means is if somehow you make it all the way to May 14th and you are going to fail the class, I will highly recommend that you withdraw from the class so that you receive a W instead of an F. If you stay after that point and you fail the course, you will get a 0. That is just how that works. So a W grade is simply you drop the class after the drop bad period. It does not impact your final grade. It does not impact your GPA. I have 2 W's on my official undergrad transcript, and I'm a professional. It's okay to have a W. It does not ruin your academic career. So I highly encourage you, if you get to that point and it's getting close to May 14th and you are not going to pass the class, you know it, that's the time to withdraw. May 30th, Friday, May 30th is the last official day of the semester. So that's when work is supposed to be due. And then the following week, Friday, is when final grades are due. Everything else, ADA veterans, if you need help, reach out to Accommodations and Advising. They can help you. And so here's where the other thing comes in. Here is our schedule. This is the tentative schedule. Everything should roughly fit to our timeline, but we'll see how that goes as things happen. So week 1, we're going to talk about race, crime, and justice in American society. So it's the opening. It's the very broad overview. And you need to complete discussion boards 1 and 2. That's it. Then next week, week 2, will be race and public opinion about crime and justice. We'll talk about that subject. And then, oh, look at that. Complete discussion board 3. Read through Court of Public Opinion project assignment sheet and ask questions if needed. So you see how this works? Those of you who've had me before, you know this. Those of you who haven't. First column is always the date. Middle column is what's being discussed that week in class. Final column is what's the homework done. What's due. And you'll notice I got little pieces here throughout, but look at that. 10 discussion boards. Final exam is due. Oh, 6/1. But didn't we say the final day of class was May 30th? Yeah. I'm a little bit more kind, and I will gladly admit that. You have until Sunday, June 1st, to turn in your final project and turn in your final exam. I give you 2 extra days past the end of the semester. Nothing can be accepted after that point, okay? But, yeah, with that being said, this is the syllabus. This is Race, Crime, and Justice. Please read through it yourself. If you have any questions, send me an email. Yeah, I really got nothing. We're at the point now where if you're in this class, you know what you're in for. So I will see you in our lecture video, in the discussion boards, and in my first check-in video. So I'll see you then.